Hi, thrifty friends. It's Laura. It's a cold Saturday morning here in Ontario. I've been at the barn looking after Rachel's horse. He had a little bit of an injury, so I've been taking care of him. And I'm frozen to the bone. I'm sitting here beside my heater, and I thought I would just do a little catch-up haul. I realized I just have some bits and bobs kicking around that I need to either put into my decor or get priced and get down to the booth and sell. So let's start with this is the most interesting thing I bought in a long time. I'm really fascinated with this. It was actually going to go in the garbage. It was black and it was covered in grease, and they were just going to throw it away. And I just thought, oh, there's something about that. So I got it cleaned up, much scrubbing later, and I've got it cleaned up. So I got to start here. We're in a tavern here, okay? And this fella is lighting his Victorian, nice long Victorian pipe at the fireplace, and his pup is sitting there. And then this fella here is getting his drink refilled by the barmaid, and his pup's under his feet there. And then these gentlemen are having a very animated conversation. I'm not sure if he's about to throw his drink at somebody or he's just gesturing wildly. And they're also smoking their nice long Victorian clay pipes. Now, the fella who left the bar is in big trouble. So here he is here on his horse. He's galloping madly through the woods, about to go over this bridge. And look what's following him. I'm just fascinated by whatever these things are supposed to be. They're flying through the air. She has a hold of his horse's tail. She has something in her hand that looks like either rope or a sheaf of wheat, perhaps. And this gal here, looking very ghoulish, is brandishing her broom. And the good Lord only knows what's going to happen to this guy. So it's probably a pot for a plant. I'm not sure if it would have had, or if it's something like, you wouldn't want to keep your cookies in that. If it had a lid, what would you keep it? Your magic spells? I don't know. But anyways, I find it fascinating. It doesn't have any marking on it at all. I've got to try and do some more research and find out if it's an old folk tale. I'm thinking Scottish, because this fella is wearing a kilt. So I'll keep you updated if I find out any more about that. But I think that's just way cool. I love crazy things. Speaking of crazy, my quest for kitschy souvenirs of the provinces and territories of Canada. I found this nice little Blue Mountain Pottery horse, and it's got written on there, very difficult to see, Winnipeg, Manitoba. So that's Manitoba covered for me now. So I'm up to 3 provinces. I hope I'm going to find them all by July. I'm not sure if I'm going to. They seem to not be around, but I'm keeping my eyes peeled. So then I was doing some research on a piece of Devon pottery about a year ago, and I ended up joining this little Facebook group. There's like 400 people on it, called the Torquay Pottery Collectors. So they've popped up in my Facebook, and the pottery that they show is quite sweet. It's quite nice. So the other day I came across a piece of Torquay pottery, and it's made in a very localized area in Great Britain, around the Devon coast. It says this is from the Whatcombe pottery, and it's recognizable because the clay is very red. So that's what kind of tipped me off when I saw it. So I picked it up. I paid $2 for it, and I put it on the Facebook page and got lots of congratulations from everyone that I had found my first piece of Torquay pottery. So that's kind of sweet. I don't know if I'll collect it. I mean, that's the first one I've ever seen. So, but I thought that was kind of a cute thing. This also caught my eye because it's red clay as well, but this is from Ireland. It's just a little ashtray, and it is marked from made in the Republic of Ireland, and it says carriageware. So that's just a cute little thing that'll sell in my booth. So let's put you down there. Okay, what else have I got? Oh, I added 2 more Dress Me dolls to my now collection of 4. So one day we're going to all go en masse to the hairdressers and get our hair fixed up. But they're quite sweet. I think she's a little bride, and obviously she's cooking dinner. So, oh, they're just for fun. A little jar of buttons that I'll just maybe take out a few that I like for myself, and then I'll pop the rest of the jar in my booth. They're all older buttons. I don't think there's anything madly, wildly collectible, but people love a jar of old buttons, and it's a King Cole product, quality count. I don't know what that would have been. Quality counts, and the price is in cents, so there's not much you can buy anymore that's the price is in cents and not dollars, and it's fluid ounces. So it's, this jar has got to be prior to the 70s. Yeah, no, early 80s we went to the metric system in Canada. So that, you know, that'll sell well in my booth. Excuse me. I treated myself. I've been wanting a Corningware loaf pan. I did pay $5 for it. It's an excellent, like almost new condition. I used to have one years ago, and you can't make a better meatloaf than what you can make in one of these. So that was just a treat for me. And I treated myself again to a little vintage salt and pepper. And I have these with the red lids, so they're just a little bit of decor for my kitchen. Picked up this for $1. It's FireKing. It's a mixing bowl, but the shape is a little different. Apparently they're called no splash or no spill bowls. Not worth a ton of money on eBay. I think around $20. So that'll just head into my booth. And look what I found. My first piece of jadeite. I have not had or seen jadeite anywhere. I don't remember what I paid for this. I did pick it up quite a while ago. I think, judging by the marking on the back, it's maybe 60s, maybe 50s. I can't remember exactly, but I saw a thing that showed the markings and what years it was, and the only mental note I made was the less words the older. So all this has on it is oven, FireKing, ware, and a number, which I can't read. So it's not a newer one. So that's kind of cool. If it was a swirl pattern, it would be worth a lot more. The ones, a bowl this size that swirl pattern, I think is around $60, $70. And I'll tell you another interesting thing, because I watched a lecture on jadeite. This woman bought and sold jadeite. She knew all there was to know about it. And then the names of the patterns were not given to the pieces by the manufacturers. They were given to the pieces by the lady who wrote the first book on collecting jadeite. I guess she was frustrated that there was no name for the different patterns, so she just made them up. I think that's funny. Oh, all right. And then I lucked out $2.75, a 441 Cinderella with the Delphite interior, and $5.75, a 444 Cinderella with the jadeite interior. Now, I think these were sold as a chip and dip set, and they should have a cradle to hold this one up here. But I'm sure people who are collectors can find those cradles, or those, whatever you call them, to hold that up in lots and lots of places. So, I think, oh, did I do this? I used to love picking up these kind of purses when I was a young woman. And I was really into dressing very funky. You wouldn't know it now. But anyways, I look at the closures are little fishes. And I paid $5.75 for this. I believe it's meant to be used as a little purse or a little carry-all. It's in good shape, just a little bit of lightness in the lining there. And it says, look at the label, says made in the People's Republic of China. Now, something in my brain said, wait a minute, you've heard something about that. And so I looked it up. I watched this guy who does, he has a YouTube channel called Exploring Stamps. And you learn as much about history from him as you do about stamps. He's really interesting, and he does a great job. I think I talked about him before. Anyways, the People's Republic of China, stuff that was sold, that was exported from the People's Republic of China, only had that marking on it from 1970 to 1978. Prior to 1970, there wasn't really things exported from China because of political things. And then in 1978, everybody was happy again and they were all getting along. So things were easier to export and they were only marked made in China. So I know that little purse was mid-70s. So that's kind of cool. So I'll put that in my booth. We have a lot of musicians that live in that area where my booth is. And we have a lot of music festivals. So when those are on, we get people, artistic people who are interested in fun and funky clothing and accessories and that sort of thing. So that will sell there. I've got one more thing. I was inspired the other day by Nicole Northgarden. She was doing some crafts on her channel, and it's very difficult for me to try to do any kind of crafty thing when I'm with the kids during the week, because they, you know, toddlers, they want to be involved in everything. So it took me all day, but I had this old frame. I just chalk painted it and just roughed it up a little bit with some sandpaper, put some of my fabric in on the back of it, and hung this vintage cookie cutter in there, and I think that will go up into my granddaughter's bedroom. So thank you, Nicole, for the inspiration. It's kind of this is kind of part of one of your crafts and part of another one of your crafts. But that's what inspiration is all about. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and stay warm, and we'll talk to you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.